1. The basic line setting. 1. Line setting and measuring. Set one line in front of the house and another at the gable wall. Measure 3 meters horizontally and 4 meters vertically. Make stack corners and leave marks. The diagonal line is 5 meters long and measure an angle of 90 degrees. 2. The width of the standard house is measured at 6.06 meters and the original length is 3.54 meters. Make marks at 10 centimeters away from the measured width and length, then begin line setting. 3. At the front line of the house, measure 1.77 meters and leave a mark. Then put a measure line to 3.54 meters and leave a mark. Measure 1.77 meters at the place of the 3.54 meters and leave a mark. 4. Along the gable wall, measure 3 lengths of 1.97 meters and leave marks. 5. Punch holes at every mark. Fasten the bolt. Stick ceiling strips to the 2 boards of the gable wall. 6. Respectively measure the front line of the house and the line of the gable wall above the base, and leave marks. Punch holes at the marks and fasten the bolt. 2. Installation. 1. Stick ceiling strips to the colored composite board. 2. Install the forward and backward boards of the gable wall. Use 10 cm long self-drilling screws to fasten the joint part. 3. Join an iron board between the 2 wall boards that has been installed. Use bolt to fasten the joint part at both sides. 4. Put a flat beam between the back and forth mountain boards. Use bolt to fasten one side. Then install the wall boards before and behind the house. Meanwhile, use the bolts on the other side of the flat beam to fasten. 5. Follow the procedures listed above to install the other mountain boards and wall boards in orders, and join iron boards and fasten them. Meanwhile, install flat beam and fasten. 6. On the fasten the flat beam, set up the purlins in orders and use self-drilling screws to fasten them. 7. Set up multi-layer boards in orders on the purlins installed and use self-drilling screws to fasten them. 8. Assemble the stair platform. Install tripod in the joint part that connects the up floor and the down floor. Use bolt to fasten it. Set up purlins over the tripod and use self-drilling screws to fasten. Then set up skid-proof boards as the stair corridor. 9. Install and fasten the stair platform and the stair ladder. 10. Install pointed beam at the roof. At the beginning of the installation, the beam point should be downward. After one bolt is fastened, then turn the beam point upward and fasten the bolt. 11. Cut the purlins according to the net length of the inside of the house. 12. Install the purlins. Put the purlins to the beam in orders and fasten them with self-drilling screws. Meanwhile, install lightning rod to the wall board of the roof. When installing lightning rod, the steel pipe of 1 meter and the zinc galvanized flat iron need to be fastened with self-drilling screws and knock them down into the ground by the depth of about 1.3 meter. Use self-drilling screw to fasten the bottom at the corner of the house. 13. Stick ceiling strips to the joint part between the wall board and the roof board in order to strengthen the heat insulating property and prevent rain and wind leaks. 14. Install the roof. Leave about 15 centimeters at the joint end in order to prevent the rainwater flowing into the house, and install roof boards one by one. Use self-drilling screws to fasten stably. Meanwhile, spray PU foam sealant to fill the gaps between the back and forth roof boards, which will prevent rainwater and wind. 15. Edge coating. Wrap around the roof with edge bars and fasten them with self-drilling screws. 16. Install ridge tiles and put plastic foams in the gaps between the ridge tiles and the roof and fasten them with rivets. 17. Use steel frame and steel pipe to build a stair guard rail outside the skid-proof board, then use self-drilling screws and bolts to fasten it. 18. Install doors and doorknobs, punch lock holes, spray neutral silicone sealant at the window cases, fasten the door cases with self-drilling screws at last, and install window screens. Installation of the double-layer new pattern movable house is completed. When playing floorboards in the house, you should pay special attention to that the surface of the floorboards or the cement floor should be higher than the house boards by 2 to 3 centimeters in order to prevent water leaking in the house.